Warmer und angenehmer guten Morgen. A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present here. I, Sandhya Singh, would like to welcome all who have joined us today to attend the webinar on German prospects and opportunities for the young learners, organized by the Tribhuvan School, Patna and DPS Sushant Lok together with German Language Center. With each day passing by, we are creating memories and achieving new heights in our digital learning. Learning a foreign language in a world of competition undoubtedly gives you an edge over the others. It cannot be denied that with the advancement of technology, it needs just a click to reach the people at the other corner of the world. Hence, learning foreign languages is not only beneficial, but almost a present-day necessity, which can open numerous doors for the young learners. Before introducing the speakers of the day, I would first like to invite our enterprising, dynamic, and honorable principal, Ms. Mahua Das Gupta, to address the lovable gathering.
Thank you, Sandhya. A rolling stone gathers no moss. This age-old saying needs to be considered and reconsidered during this time of pandemic, where everything has come to a standstill and people are almost hibernated in their homes. To keep the students, the parents, and their mentors rolling, the Tribhuvan School, through various virtual platforms, has tried its best to keep the teaching learning process unhampered as far as possible. Technology has never failed in keeping us stay connected. And today, learning a foreign language is not only beneficial, but also a necessity. Germany is the fourth largest by nominal GDP, largest in Europe, and second largest exporter of the world. All these reasons combine to the growing importance of learning this language. And this is why we have also added this language in the school curriculum. To tell us more about the prospects and the opportunities of German language, we are glad to have with us today the reverend speakers of the day, Mr. Sohail Mirzapur, academic consultant and marketing advisor, Freshman Institute of FH Aachen, Germany. Mrs. Anita Mitra, project manager, Goethe Institute, Kolkata. Shubhada Chaudhary, head DAAD, Information Point, Mumbai. And Rivu Banerjee, master's student in FSU, Germany. A warm welcome to all. Last but not the least, I welcome Mrs. Archana Rani, Director of German Language Center. She is the pioneer to open the opportunity of learning German language to the state of Bihar. She has been doing a great work. Thank you, Archana ma'am, for helping us to organize this webinar for our children. Without much further delay, I hand over the platform to Mrs. Archana Rani to proceed with the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahua ma'am. A very good morning to everyone, and welcome to the webinar on German prospect and opportunities for young learners. Thank you, Mahua ma'am, for such a beautiful introduction. And you have spared me the embarrassment of introducing myself. But today I would like to share one more point. That's I have been a teacher since past 20 years, almost 2 decades. And teaching German, I have been teaching since 2008 and have been a teacher trainer from since 2012. Now, why I'm sharing this is since the inception of my center here in Patna, I have been coordinating with Goethe Institute, Maximila Bhavan, in the 2 states of Bihar and Jharkhand. And going to the same, I consider myself apt, sorry to say that, but I consider myself apt to be moderating this session today. As so in these past 12 years, I have had innumerable queries regarding opportunities and what is the importance of learning this foreign language, especially German, because I've come up with German. So there have been innumerable queries, and not only queries. I have also been witness to quite now learning who are now studying in Germany. We have one of our panelists here. There are students who have made it big in Germany with a wonderful career. So we do have quite a few success stories. But today, to increase the number of these success stories in future, we have invited our experts today from Goethe Institute, Max Miller Bhavan, from DAD, the Academic Exchange Service, and the Freshman Institute of Fachhochschule Aachen. And obviously we have Mr. Rivu from Friedrich Schiller University, Jena, in Germany. I would like to
you're muted.
Archana, you've muted. Archana, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. I think there's a technical problem.
It's an absolute honor and delight today to be sharing this webinar space with Ms. Anita Mitra, the Project Manager, Educational Services, Goethe Institute, Kolkata, Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary, Head DAD, Information Point, Mumbai, Mr. Shohail Mirzapur, he is the physics lecturer there and academic consultant and marketing advisor at Freshman Institute, Fachhochschule Aachen, Germany. And not to forget the dynamic young man, Mr. Rivu. Yeah, Mr. Rivu Banerjee, who is a role model to most of the German learners in our country. Yeah. So I would also like to add here that it's a pleasure and a privilege to be co-hosting this webinar with the Tribhuvan School. And I'm extremely thankful to Ms. Mahua Das Gupta, the principal of the Tribhuvan School, for having facilitated this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have all these experts on one platform, and it's I must say that it is a privilege for all of us here to have this huge panelist, before us, the experts. Obviously, my planning is undoubtedly not to overstay my welcome as a moderator. Rather, have you listen to the experts, how they can, how they can help you shape your career and help and share facts and suggestions, which they are obviously ready to share. In one of the webinars I had visited, one of the speakers said, this pandemic has passed our wants into the need basket. And I feel, to my understanding, it's true to every word. We have been always, which is going to be shared today on this platform by the expert speakers. And today it has become a need for all of us to come together on this platform. And I'm sure there must be parents here in the audience who are already planning to visit Delhi or Mumbai, or who are planning to connect with Goethe Institute or German Language Center to find out how their children can go further with the language, how they can go to Germany for the education or for career prospects. And today, just see, we are all here together, and it's wonderful to have all these experts here. Here onwards, I would take the opportunity to introduce our stalwarts, and at the same time, I would be posing a question to them, which would give us an insight in today's presentation. I would like to begin with Mr. Rivu Banerjee. Rivu is currently at the Friedrich Schiller University in Jena, Germany, pursuing a master's in German as a foreign and second language. Prior to this, he studied English at Jadavpur University in Kolkata. Rivu started learning German as part of the PASH initiative and then went to complete his C2, the Grosses Deutsche Sprachdiplom. He also completed an internship at Goethe Institute in Kolkata and then briefly taught German at a Kolkata School before moving to Germany to pursue his current master's degree. Rivu is also part of the Fachschaftsrat at the Institut für Deutsch als Fremd- und Zweitsprache and is also working as an academic tutor for a master's module. He recently completed his academic internship from Goethe Institute in Moscow. Now, Rivu, I have a question for you. I must say this has been, there in my mind since long, and I have not been able to ask you. Your journey from a schoolboy learning German in Kolkata to an academic tutor for master's module seems to be quite interesting and varied, yeah? And was this a planned career map, or were there specific people and opportunities who came your way and goaded you to reach this height?
First of all, thank you so much to the principal of the Tribhuvan School in Patna. Thank you to Archana ma'am for inviting me to be part of this panel. To answer your question, I don't think it was ever really a very specific plan. At least at the beginning, it wasn't. I still remember when the PASH initiative started, I was essentially called to the principal's office and told, listen, there's an exchange program that you have to be part of. You have 24 hours to decide whether you want to do it or not. And that's essentially how I started doing this. I mean, I said yes to it. I had to learn German within a month. I did my A1 in a month, which Miss Anita Mitra taught me. And then I went off to Germany and did my A2 for another month. So, I mean, it wasn't really a conscious decision that I took to say, okay, I wanted to learn German because of career prospects or things like that. Because at that point of time, I was thinking extremely differently in terms of what I wanted to do in life. Once I came back from Germany, this is of course exactly 10 years ago in 2010. Once I came back, I did my ICSCs in school, and then I decided to take up German as a second language in 11 and 12. And that's when I really began. And in fact, even taking up German as a second language in school was essentially so that I didn't have to do mathematics in school. So it was essentially a way out of that. And that, I think, helped me go on with learning the language. And that's, I think, when I found learning the language interesting and began looking at opportunities that could come my way if I continued with the language, which is why I went on to actually finish my C2. I did the internship again under Miss Mitra for the Education Cooperation Office at the Goethe Institute in Calcutta. And I taught for a bit at a school in Calcutta before moving here. Now, when I moved here, that was, of course, a very conscious decision in the sense that because I had also taught, I knew of the University of Jena as a university which had extremely huge reputation, especially in the field that I wanted to pursue, which is German as a foreign language and teaching the language professionally. So I had applied to 3 very specific universities. I applied to Jena, I applied to Oldenburg, and I applied to Bamberg. I thankfully received the first confirmation from Jena, so I didn't really think about the other 2 universities. I did get confirmations for another confirmation from one of the other 2 universities, but by then it was too late. I was already here. Speaking of how it went on to be me becoming an academic tutor as well, is essentially I am currently moving on to my final semester and and I'm supposed to start writing my thesis very soon. In the first 2 semesters that I was here, essentially the first year, I spent a lot of time working with professors on several projects. In fact, during my first summer here, which was last year, I worked in an international summer school with one of our professors. In the second semester, that's when I got in touch with the professor I'm currently working under as the academic tutor, and I'm currently tutoring the course Berufsorientierter Deutschunterricht, German for the workplace. To be able to do that, I think what essentially there was never something that I did very consciously in terms of, say, running after the professor and saying, listen, I want to do this or something like that. But I did manage to be someone who happened to be able to engage in class a lot with the professor. And which is why when the professor came to me and said, listen, there's this opportunity, would you like to do it? I was more than happy to get on board. And that's essentially how I've been doing this for the past semester and will be doing this for this semester as well.
So you are the perfect example of a person who just goes ahead and grabs the opportunities that come his way. And I think this is a very good message for our students, our audience today. You know, just go ahead. There are opportunities galore with a foreign language, and that's what they need to do, especially with German, I believe. So thank you, Ribu. Thank you so much for answering my query and for your presence here. I would move on to Ms. Anita Mitra. Anita is a German language teacher and teacher trainer. We have also worked together a lot. She is a teacher trainer par excellence. I'm a witness to that. Ms. Mitra she has been working closely with young adults for more than 12 years now. Her special area of interest is learning and learner autonomy in language lessons for teens and young adults, with focus on working with digital media in the classroom. So in 2012, she started the project manager, educational services for East India. I think Mawa ma'am also the school plans all these projects and workshops for the partner schools and institutions of the Goethe Institute. Anita, my question to you is here in Bihar and Jharkhand, with the presence of around 42 institutes offering German, Goethe Institute Netzmüller Bhavan has had a great role to play. We would like to know, how do you see the involvement of German learners from this region in the programs of Goethe Institute during this period of isolation?
Thank you, Archana. On the answer, I would also like to thank the Tribhuvan School and German Language Center for initiating, taking this initiative and organizing this webinar. I think, like you rightly mentioned, it is the need of the hour, and I think I speak for the students as well when I say that such info sessions are really important for students also to make informed decisions. Yes, coming to your question, as you as you know, I mean, because of the situation right now this year, we have put our regular events and projects on hold, and we have slowly transitioned into the virtual platform. I would really, I mean, we have done, as you know, we have organized, there are a lot of formats. I will be also going into that in my presentation for young students to exchange, not only to learn the language. The main aim of, or the focus of actually what we do is to give them an experience of learning with emotions as well. So it's not just learning a language, but if you learn it with your heart and your head, of course, you learn it much better. I think we have also conducted camps, different formats of exchange where young students get the opportunity to meet, to exchange their ideas, to discuss. So these are some of the things that we like to do. These are some of the projects that we like to do. And due to the coronavirus crisis right now, what we are doing is we are moving to the virtual platform, and we have also developed a few very interesting formats for the students. It's of course unfortunate that the human connection is not there, at least for this year, but what we are trying to do is, keeping the safety of everyone in mind, moving into some innovative formats. And I mean, right now I can give you an example that the biggest German language competition, the German Olympiad, is taking place in Dresden, which was supposed to be there. I mean, all the winners were supposed to go there to Germany, but it has been transformed into a virtual 4-day event, so to say. And there are concerts, there are different kind of things virtually that are happening to encourage them and to give them the spirit. Coming to this region, Archana, I mean, this region, when we conduct projects, we get really commendable entries from this region. And we are very proud to be, to be part of this, to be able to, from Goethe Institute Calcutta, to actually do the counseling or the support that we do for this region. I mean, we are really proud to do it, because the entries that we receive from the children, I mean, are really, really commendable. We are very proud. There are some songs that they that they send us for different entry level exams, or they go really out of the way. This is one thing that we have really noticed, that from this region, the entries that we get are out of the box. They are not fixed to the format. We sometimes get German songs, poems, different creative elements which are coming in. And really, I mean, this is something that I must say that, applaud all the students here, being so far away from the target country, Germany, having that spark and that courage to learn something new. I mean, that's something really which, which we really, really are proud of. And we hope to do more projects and involve all the children so that this can be nurtured.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you've shared this earlier too, that the students here, they are really excited and they want to give their 200% into it and, come out successfully. Thanks so much, Anita. Your support for this region is really commendable, especially Goethe Institute is there, right? But you as the project manager has done a lot, and I must thank you for that. And today, the next, Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary. Shubhda, I think you are certainly the person to go for today. Yeah, the facts and knowledge that you're going to share today, we get a lot of questions for that, and I think all those questions are going to be answered today by you. So I would like to introduce you. Shubhda is heading the DARD Information Point in Mumbai. She completed her MA in German Translation and Interpretation from the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and has been associated with various German companies throughout her 29 years career. The Indo-German Export Promotion Project, Sprint RPG, Symphony Services, Bangalore, and she has also been a freelance translator. So she joined DARD in 2011. I would also like to brief my young audience about DARD, the German Academic Exchange Service. DARD Regional Office New Delhi promotes academic exchange between Germany and South Asia, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Bhutan. It provides information to prospective students about the procedures for studying and doing research at institutions of higher education, as well as the DARD Regional Office New Delhi also provides annual fellowships and short-term research grants. It supports guest professorships and project-related funding and helps to establish university collaborations. So, Shubhda, DARD has been, the backbone to the students who wish to study in Germany. Yeah, they rely to a huge extent on the support extended by DARD. In fact, it's the first organization that comes to the mind of German learners when they plan their education in Germany. How's DARD working its future strategies in these troubled times of the pandemic? Are the students moving, still wanting to move out? So how is it happening?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And good morning, the elevated guests in today's webinar. So yeah, you have listed a long list of tasks that the DAAD handles. And yes, the DAAD is the official agency of the Foreign Ministry of Germany and the Ministry of Education and Research. And as you correctly said, we are the go-to people for German education. Unlike education in other countries where the consultants play a huge role, in German education, consultants practically do not play a role. And if there are any, then there are only a very handful of them. I could probably count them on one hand. So yeah, and they are always listed on the university website. So please be aware of that. So in the pandemic, basically right now, as you know that the visa services are closed right now all across India. They are sporadically opening now. So right now, although the scholarships have been awarded in some of the upcoming year. There were some scholarships which were awarded, where people had to go during the summer, which were completely cancelled. And even the DAAD, had to help people go back to their home countries, and they also took it on a financial, aspect, where the scholarship holders were, sort of. Not, I would say, repatriated to their home countries because due to the pandemic. So the summer semester, like Sohail would also bear proof to it, was practically completely online. Now the winter semester starts with some presence or contact classes and some online. And in India, especially, since India still is not on the list of acceptable countries to travel to Germany, then of course the passenger flights are suspended right now. And the visa offices are also closed. We really don't know how it is going to pan out for the winter semester, but we presume things would fall back into place for the upcoming summer semesters and the next winter semester. Yes.
Great. So that was quite some knowledge for students who are looking forward to move to Germany as an education destination. Thank you, Shubhda. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Just a thing to add over here, since you were speaking to Rivu Banerjee, and he is one of the success stories. But I think the biggest success story that I would really say is Dr. Mukherjee, who has recently been named as the president of the DAAD in Germany.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is the height that you can reach to, basically, if you have the spark and drive, to take it head on. Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. So I would move ahead to Mr. Suhail Mirzapur. Mr. Mirzapur is physics lecturer, academic consultant, and marketing advisor at the Freshman Institute of Fachhochschule Aachen. He has studied mechanical engineering at Fachhochschule Aachen and is currently also a student of MBA at in the same institute. He can be a mentor to our young learners and a role model as well, as he dons the hat of both a facilitator and a learner as well. So I think you are quite close to our audience today, and I have a question for you, Sohail. It's, for us, it's an established fact now that with all of those students who are going to Germany, the feedback that we get, that Germany has one of the best campus environment compared to other education destinations like USA, UK, or maybe Australia. This is the feedback that we always get. What do you think makes the campus life so compatible for students joining from other countries?
First of all, good morning to everyone. It's really an honor for me to be with you. All the experts, they are named many times, so I do not name them again. Thank you very much also, Archana, for the introduction. One part of my job is actually to take care of the Indian applicants in our institute. That's why that I'm always in contact with the Indian student recruitment agencies and also the Indian students. So everything related to Indian applicants to our institute is taken care by me. That's a very good question, actually, because I'm also a foreign student in this country. So I also know a lot of challenges and everything that the students face. One tip that I wanted to first of all give to the German learners here today is what made me to improve in the German language is do not be shy and try to communicate, because first, when I came to Germany, I had this feeling, okay, let's, because I also came here to Germany without knowing any previous German language. That's why I always had this feeling that, okay, let's first come to a level of knowing the language and then try to communicate to the people. So this is my first tip actually to all of these students. If there is any chance for you to communicate with any German person, please do it, because this is a culture in Germany, and people actually do not make fun of you or do anything if you do make mistakes, or if you cannot communicate well. Their mindset is actually that they appreciate your effort because you are learning their language. So this is a very important thing that I wanted to share with everyone today, that try to find German friends and try to communicate with them, because it's going to help you a lot. And do not be shy, because the mindset you're having in front of you is not making fun of you or trying to correct you, but appreciating that you are learning their language. So this is the first thing. Going back to your question, Archana, what makes Germany so successful is that, yeah, the international community, because here you can find like the same situation for everyone, no matter where you come from. You can, if you're good enough, if you try your best, you will get the reward. So it's very important for everyone to know that if you put effort and do your best, then you can improve. It was really nice to see Mr. Banerjee today and hearing about him. It's my first time knowing about him. So exactly as he explained, if you put your effort and if you do your best, you will definitely get the reward. And there isn't any, because this is also another thing that I heard before coming to Germany. I was always hearing about this, these rumors about like Germans not liking like foreign students and so on, but I never experienced such thing. So they really do not put any difference between like nationalities, and if you do your if you put effort, you're gonna get the reward. Yeah, so but the other tip that I also wanted to give the students is that even if you want to study English study courses in Germany, it is very important that you learn the language. And now today we have in this webinar the representatives of the best language schools that you can have in India. So I really recommend you that even if you want to study in English language, it's very important to learn language and learn the German language and get improved.
Thank you. Thank you, Sohail. That was a real good, experience that you have shared with us. I myself have been, there are so many stories that I've heard that, in Germany, people are, and, my personal visit as a student earlier, it has always been that, people are so, supportive, and they would just go ahead and say, oh, wow, that sentence was good for an A1 student. So it's like, they are always promoting you, helping you, not putting you down. So that's really the right thing you said. Thank you so much. So without wasting much time, I think I should move where our first speaker would be coming up. I would request or maybe before we begin with today's session, I would also like to inform the audience they can send their queries through chat, not to the chat box, rather the Q&A box, and do post your questions. We will see if there is no time constraint, we will try to give a response to that. We will try to respond to that, a good answer to that. We'll bring it but we will bring it during the Q&A session. So please be patient and wait for the answers, and hopefully it might be that most of your questions might be answered throughout the presentations. The presentations are quite knowledgeable and factual, so most of your queries will be answered here. So once again, I would like to invite Ms. Mitra to begin with a presentation. That's the programs and projects by Goethe Institute to support German learners. All to you, Ms. Mitra.
Thank you, Archana. I hope you can all see my screen. I just wanted to.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, good morning, students. Without much further ado, I would just, go ahead with the presentation. Herzlich willkommen. Hallo, guten Tag. Okay, I think some of you are already learning German, and some of you are probably thinking to learn German. So I have a question for you. Since you're already attending this webinar, why do you think German is important, or one should learn the German language? Could you use the question answer box to just write, Ian? I mean, why do you think why are you learning German, or what are the reasons to learn German? I'll just give you a minute. If you can just write in the question and answer box anything that comes to your mind regarding this. So, yes, most of the common answers actually, exactly, there are some answers which are now coming up, are number one reason, the primary reason, of course, is opportunities to study or work in Germany. I will not go much into detail because we have three experts here lined up who will give you an overview of how to do that, how you can do that. But of course, the most common answer to this question is to work or study in Germany. Number two is, which I've listed for you, is opportunities for exchange. So most of you are learning German, and some of you, I think, have written that you like the language. You're learning because you like it. So sometimes we like a language also because we want to not only learn the grammar or the vocabulary, but we want to interact with the people. So learning the German language can provide you a lot of exchange opportunities with the same age group. You can have student exchange programs, different kind of exchange programs, professional exchange programs. So that is also one reason for learning the language. If you are interested in science and research, it's a well-established fact that research in Germany is, of course, has international reputation. So that is something, if that's something that you're looking forward, it will also help you later if you want to do any research work, etc. The global career. So some of you must be thinking, okay, but I would like to stay here. What opportunities do I have if I don't want to work or study in Germany? Germany is also a global player in a lot of multinational companies. So if you are also working in India, you are working you can work in a German company here, also in other companies which might not be German companies, but you always have the employees, they always look for an extra edge. If you know a foreign language, what happens is that you have this extra edge. You can take on projects which are for German-speaking countries, etc. So even when you're working in your own country, in your own cities, you have that extra edge. And your employees, if they see that you have a foreign language or something, you have German in your CV, what happens is that they also see that you're open to learning new skills. So that is again a plus point. The fifth reason, of course, business. I think most of you are following the news, and you can see that the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, comes very often to India to discuss business plans with our Prime Minister, and India is a strong partner, business partner. So even if you are interested in doing business later or joining certain businesses, the German language could also help you there. Apart from the business, the science, and the academic field, you also have tourism and the hospitality industry. German and German-speaking countries, the people are well known for traveling, and if this is something that interests you to be in the tourism or hospitality industry, the German language could also be beneficial for you there. This is one of my personal favorites, and this is probably why I also learn foreign languages, which is the cultural understanding part of it. So we have, of course, the logical side of our brain. So we want to study, we want to go, and we want to work in Germany. But what happens when you learn a language is that you start understanding a different culture. And also what you understand here is that understanding a different culture just by learning the language also does not alienate you from your own language and culture. What happens generally, and I'm speaking from personal experience, is that when you learn a different language, you generally get to know more about your own culture and your own language. It's always the comparison that happens between your language, your culture, your roots, and the foreign language. So this gives you a better understanding not only about yourself and your culture, but also opens your horizons. And this cultural understanding kind of happens other reasons that I've listed. This is something which is really important. Communication. Right now, communication is, of course, one of the things. We are communicating on an online platform. German, and this was also a surprise to me. There are a lot of German websites, and Germany is really big in the communication part online as well. So if you learn the language, you have access to, of course, more information online. Your communication skills in general will also improve by learning another language. Of course, if you are into art and culture, if you like reading, if you're a bookworm, then literature, music, art and philosophy, of course, is something that, Germany is very known for, having a lot of stalwarts in all these fields. But you must be wondering, okay, fine, so by the time I read Kafka or listen to Beethoven or something, that will take a lot of time. But you can also start right now with a lot of shows which are in German. So if you're already learning German or are interested in learning the language, you can also start watching these. And we also have a project from the Goethe Institute which is with these movies, etc., which are on Netflix. Of course, this is also something that I think everyone can, confirm, that is traveling. If you know one foreign language, it really opens up the gate to that entire continent. Knowing German can really help you travel through Europe as well. And if you're interested in that, to explore different countries, learning German could also be helpful there. Okay, I want to ask you a few questions now. You can write again in the chat box here. In the question answer session. Here we have which German city does the German car BMW come from? Do you know that? You can just write A, B, or C if you want. The right answer is BMW is from which city? Yes, you have B there. So I have a picture here, which is a popular German show. Do you know any popular German shows? Yeah, I think everybody got this one right. That is Dark. Okay. And can you recognize what a traditional speciality this is? What the name of this? Yes, correct. That is Black Forest cake. Yeah. So you already know a lot, I can see from the question answer box. I think some of you have already learned German, so I won't go much into this. So hallo, guten Tag. I just wanted to tell you how the language sounds or how the language is. And you have Guten Morgen, Guten Abend, yeah, good evening. Then you have something, mein Name ist, yeah, wie ist Ihr Name? And then you can just say mein Name ist, and you know, very similar to English also here. Ich komme aus Deutschland, aus Berlin. Yeah, ich komme aus, I come from, you know. Woher kommen Sie? So, from where do you come from? Yeah, ich komme aus Indien. We can then, you can see that there are a lot of similarities. It's not that difficult. Deutsch is easy. Deutsch is leicht, you know. So, now again, I have a question for you. How do you greet a person in German? A, B, or C? Yeah, you can either say hello or guten Tag, correct? My name is, mein Name ist, yeah. And this word is Deutsch ist leicht, easy, yeah. Okay, so once you learn the German language, the language is divided in certain levels, so to say, which is also followed by the Goethe Institute. It is called, and the German Language Center in Patna. This is called a Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So you have the basic level, which are the A levels, and then you have the intermediate levels, and then you have the advanced levels. So there are 6 levels in total. And after each level, you'll have an international exam. So what this framework gives you is that if you want to go and study in Germany or work in Germany and you have the certification, they can exactly assess which language skills, which language proficiency you have. And this is a European framework. That means that if I have a certificate of P1 Spanish, that would be equivalent to a P1 certificate in German. So if you want, of course, here you can go to our site for more information on the examinations, etc. This is the exam which is the most relevant for you, which is for the school students. And as you can see here in the slide, there are different skills that are tested in all the exams. All exams are very communicative. It's nothing just based on grammar or something. It's basically testing your skills, your reading skills, your speaking skills, and your writing skills. Apart from that, the Goethe Institute also has other preparatory courses for online courses, CBSE courses, etc. Now, I've been talking about the Goethe Institute for a long time, and I am working there also for some years now. But what is the Goethe Institute? The Goethe Institute Bhavan, as it is called in India, is basically the cultural wing of the German Foreign Ministry. And there are around 6 institutes in India, as well as some centers. And the Goethe Institute, which is covering your region, is Goethe Institute Kolkata. And what do we do? So basically, we have 3 main departments, which are the language courses, the cultural programs, as well as the library and information services. So the language courses, of course, teaching German, giving information about German, how to learn German. The cultural programs comprise of different events that we do, and the library and information, of course, gives you a lot of material on how to learn German. Also, if you want to read German literature, borrow movies or music. But apart from that, what really happens was what the Goethe Institute does is provide a platform to foster cultural exchange. Cultural exchange between different countries, India and Germany, but also cultural exchange within the Indian states or even the South Asian states. So that is one of the main, core works of the Goethe Institute. So our library services give you plenty of study materials, exam preparation materials. So you don't worry. You're thinking, okay, so I'll be learning German. Where will I get all the books from? All these are there in our library. You can borrow them. And then you might be thinking, okay, so but the library is in Calcutta. That's a bit far for us. We have something called the traveling library, which has a nice corner at the German language center in Patna, so which is closer for you. You can always borrow books from there. Apart from that, there's also the online lending library called the Onlier, where you have access to a lot of books, e-books, audiobooks. You have movies, materials for learning German. If you want to practice grammar, listening skills, you have magazines, newspapers, also for school students. So, and it's free of cost, and you can find the information also on our website, how to register. So, apart from that, we have the culture and language programs for different, we have language and culture also for students, for school students. That's what we exactly focus on. Organizing different projects, different events, so that learning, whatever you learn, you can also apply. You can get a little bit of the German culture sitting in your city itself. Again, I have some questions for you. Can you tell me how many German levels there are in the European framework? 3, 6, or 8? Yes, 6 levels. Yeah, 2 A levels, 2 B levels, and 2 C levels, correct? What is the name of the international examination, German language examination, after you, for the students, for school students? Fit in Life, Fit in Mathe, or Fit in Deutsch? Yeah, Fit in Deutsch, that is C, option C, Fit in German, of course. And what can you do with a good competency level in German? You can study or work in Germany, work in a German or multinational company in India, understand culture better. So if you have a good competency level in German, what can you do? A, B, or C? Yeah, this is a little bit of, a funny question because you can do all 3, of course. And the last question here, where can you find a good collection of German books, movies, and music online? You remember the name? Yeah, it's called Onlier. Yeah, and even if you type in Onlier Goethe Institute, you will, in Google, you will find the link where you can register yourself, and everything is for free. So, I would just take a few moments to show you some of our work that we do for students like you, some projects that we have developed specifically for school students that you can participate in. I think, as I mentioned in the introduction, we do a lot of youth camps, which have been put on hold for safety reasons at the moment, but we will resume them soon. And the youth camps are also part of our scholarship program. That means if you excel, if you do very well in German in school, in your school curriculum, in your class, you get a scholarship to either attend a German language camp integrated course in Germany for 3 weeks, or you can have a 1-week youth camp experience in South Asia, maybe in Sri Lanka or Nepal. Sometimes we organize these youth camps in collaboration with these other neighboring countries. So you have also an international exchange with these students, different students who are learning German in your neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and Iran, etc., and Pakistan as well. And we also have, and I think, Archana has been also organizing a lot of these camps which are local camps. So in the local camps, so we come to your city and we conduct whole day programs where you can, apply your German language skills. You can interact with other German language learners of your city. We have also conferences for you, so you can take part in different conferences which are not only language based. These are also address issues which are very relevant for young people like you. Sustainability is one of the topics that the Goethe Institute addresses very often, and so what happens here, we invite experts from Germany and India and discuss with you on how to get solutions to various problems, and you can really work together with these experts, come up with concepts, etc. There are certain exhibitions that we do, which range from science subjects to sociology subjects, etc. Here we had a very interesting project that we did, which was called Food Hackathon. I know hacking might have a negative connotation sometimes, but what the hackers explained to us was that hacking is just thinking out of the box, and I think all of you are really good at that, just thinking out of the box and finding a solution for a problem. And as you can see here, you have also, and this was also part of an exchange program where kids from Germany who were good at technology, who were interested in technology, came together with students from the Eastern Zone, and they worked collaboratively on finding solutions to various problems revolving around food. So here again, you have some, we also conduct intercultural workshops for exchange students, as well as certain other, music concert workshops, etc. There are two upcoming projects, and this is again going to answer Archana ma'am's question at the beginning, how we have different formats and how we are looking at formats for this year when, camps and the other conferences are put on hold. We have the Kinderuniversität as well as the Science Film Festival. The Kinderuniversität is a digital format which has basically the concept of content language integrated learning. That means when you are part of this Kinderuniversität, which can be done in your school as a club activity as well, it is both designed for students who have learned German as well as those who are going to start learning. And you're not only going to learn the language, what you're going to do is you're going to learn STEM subjects, that is, science, technology, electronics, and mathematics, along with German. So it's based, so you're learning an extra skill, you are learning more about the science subjects, and along with that, you're also getting to learn a little bit of German. So this is one of the things that we are focusing on this year, and your region, your school, will also be part of this. Another upcoming project which is going to start on the 10th, which is this Monday, is Art Knows No Borders. This is also a collaborative project, especially designed for teenagers. And we are working here with other children from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, as well as the East Zone Indian students, and also students from North India. So the core idea of this project is to combine three fields, that is art. So it's not only science, but here people who are interested in art, visual art, together with German and a language, and mental well-being. So these three fields are combined in this project, and the idea is, we all know that this time has been very difficult for you, being away from your friends, doing online classes, at the time when, talking, we all know that going to school is not just about learning, but also interacting with your friends. So this project is addressing that, what you have gone through the last couple of months, how you feel about it, reflecting on that and bringing it out in the form of visual art. At the end, there will be a visual gallery, a virtual gallery with 3D and augmented reality components as well, which will then be showcased. So these are some of the projects that we do. And so I am at the end of my presentation. I think I have really spilled over regarding the time. And if you have any queries, of course, if you write in the chat, I will try to answer it in this session. Otherwise, you can also write to me. And vielen Dank. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Anita. That was truly what our students would have been wanting to know, about the language, about the examinations, about the camps, and with the Kinder Uni and the new art project coming up, I think it has been, the students have already enrolled from the Tribhuvan School for this particular, workshop. So it was wonderful getting to know so many things about your projects. And since we are a little short of time, I will just go ahead and to our next speaker, the success story, Mr. Rivu Banerjee. Rivu, I would like you to begin with to share your experience there and tell the students how they can make their story also a success story, which I'm sure they must be already doing well, but with your experience, I'm sure they are going to do far better. Over to you, Rivu.
Right, thank you so much. I do not have a presentation, so what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to try and talk to you about everything that I did over the last 10 years, more the first 6 years and the last 4. So like I said earlier, I started off with the PASH initiative, and I learned German. I did my A1 and A2, pretty much like all of the students who are at the school and learning German. The same way I attended classes. Back then it was a little different because the project had just started off. We did classes, and then we were sent off to Germany, pretty much like what Ms. Mitra said, on one of these scholarship camps, which is where, in fact, I did my A2 with students from 5 other countries. We were 60 students in total, who all of us between the ages of 14 and 17. And we spent 3 weeks, in fact, learning the language, getting to know the culture of Germany, getting to know different cultures from around the world, because again, we were all students from extremely different cultures. Once I came back and I decided, once I went back and decided to take up German as a second language, and I continued to study the language at the Goethe Institute, and I did my B1 and B2 there. At the same time, I also did what is the International German Olympiad, which is also currently taking place right now online in collaboration with the Goethe Institute in Dresden. I participated in the national rounds. Again, got a scholarship to be part of a German camp that was held in New Delhi, which was a South Asia camp. So again, the opportunity to meet people from several countries in South Asia and to be able to speak German as a connecting language with everyone. Then, of course, I started off with university in India. I studied English because that back then was still something that I really wanted to do. I studied English in Calcutta for 5 years. And at the same time, I started doing my internship at the Goethe Institute. I will say this, that the internship helped me immensely in not only trying to figure out what I wanted to do in terms of my career, but also in terms of being able to improve my language, because I started my internship when I was still doing my B2. Now, with B2, you speak German well enough, but also not well enough. So you're somewhere there in the middle, trying to make sense of a lot of things that you are learning. So the internship essentially helped me, because through the internship, I had the opportunity to be able to work with several people from Germany as well as in the South Asia region. In fact, on several of these camps that were organized for the East India region, I was also part of the team that organized it. And I also worked with Archana ma'am and Ms. Mitra throughout those years. And then, of course, I decided to do, I finished my degree and I decided to start teaching full time, which is when I started teaching at a school. And I did this project called the Deutsch Lernen, which is essentially a teacher's training program, which I also did, which helped me learn how to teach the language. Again, something that allowed me to work in collaboration with several teachers who teach the language and also experts who speak the language rather well. Through this time, I also spent a month in a country called Kyrgyzstan, where also I taught for a month, which was also something that was set up by the Goethe Institute in New Delhi. And then, of course, deciding to move here. I mean, when I talk about it like this, it doesn't seem like I did a lot throughout these 10 years and it went from one step to the other. But I think it also had to do with the fact that, so one of the things that I always did was found out what the opportunities were and went for it, because the worst that could happen was that someone would say no. I mean, that is essentially the worst that could happen. You wouldn't get something, which has happened. I wouldn't say that it hasn't. It has happened on several occasions. But when you apply for, say, 10 things, you get through, say, 2 or 3 of them, and 2 or 3 good ones, which has, of course, happened in my case as well. I mean, I wanted to study at the University of Vienna, which is where I'm currently studying. And I mean, like I said, I applied to 3 universities at the same time. Didn't really think I would get through. In fact, I went to the university and asked them if I had the opportunity of getting through. And because of my previous qualifications, they had told me that it doesn't seem like you would get through because you don't fit the criteria. I still applied and I got through. And I remember joking with the same professor who wrote back to me saying that you wouldn't get her. I remember joking with her very recently and saying, see, you sent me an email saying, no, you wouldn't get through, and yet here I am working with you. So, I mean, it essentially comes down to one, being passionate enough to do what you want to do. I mean, I see a lot of questions in the forum which ask about artificial intelligence, whether or not you need to know the language to be able to move here and study. I will say this, and I think Mr. Mirzapur also mentioned this a while earlier. There are several universities in Germany. In fact, all universities in Germany offer courses that are in English. So it's not that you essentially have to be absolutely proficient in the language to be able to study here. Knowing the language, of course, helps, because it'll help you with very basic things like figuring out where to stay or going to the supermarket or things like that. Even if you are studying a course which is entirely in English. In fact, I have several friends of mine who moved from India to Germany for subjects like economics, for subjects like finance also. All courses that are being entirely taught in English without any knowledge of the language, which of course is also there. So it's not essentially a situation where I would say, learn the language, spend 10 years before you can move. Of course, that is important if you're doing a course which is in German entirely, like my course. But for international students, in most situations, the courses are in English. Why then learn the language at all? Simply because it helps you navigate and communicate better. It's the same as, say, knowing English or Hindi or Bengali or any of the Indian languages when you're in India. If you do not know the language, it's just more difficult for you to communicate. So, so that communication bit is absolutely extremely important. And of course, what happens here is that you will be as part of your course, if you do not know German, as part of your main course, whether it's your graduate degree or your postgraduate degree, you will be learning the language. It will be part of your course. And another thing is, of course, that education is free in the sense that you do not pay any tuition fees. Tuition is covered by the German government. So all you essentially pay is a semester fee, which is every half year, which isn't a lot of, which isn't a huge amount. It's about, currently here in Jena, it's about 220 euros, which is what I last paid. So it's not a lot of money when you look at it in terms of paying for it in half-year installments. At the same time, you have the opportunity to also work here while you're studying, and you can earn up to 450 euros a month, which is also a wonderful thing to do while you're studying at the same time. So your semester costs is something that you can earn back from working here. Your normal living expenses are also something that you can in fact earn back while you're studying. In fact, that is exactly what I do. I mean, I work while I am studying, and that helps me in fact cover my rent, cover any expenses that I have, which is also I think an extremely wonderful thing to do as when you are here, which I do not think a lot of universities, a lot of countries in fact provide, especially if you're looking at, say, the usual countries that Indians move to in terms of when they want to study, say, the UK or the US or Australia or Singapore or places like that, where it's a lot more difficult to get the opportunity to work while you're studying. Another thing, of course, is that once you finish your degree, you have the opportunity to extend your study visa by 18 months, which is the time that you can use to even find yourself a job. So it's not, which is also a situation that is happening currently in the US, in fact, where they're asking students to just go back home. Even in the event of a situation like this, that is not something that's going to happen here as long as the visa policy stays. And I do not think the visa policy is also going to be changing very soon. So I think I've spoken about a range of a lot of things. And yes, I think that's it as far as my experiences are concerned. Yes.
Thank you so much, Tribhuvan. That's wonderful. You know, what you said that English is, you know, if you're doing the courses in English, so is that also for the bachelor degree, or are you talking about the master's?
Both. There are courses which are both in the bachelor's courses as well as master's courses, which are entirely in English.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rivu. We need to go ahead. It was really, I'm sure the students must have enjoyed listening to your success story, and they must have started planning their own success story by now. Yeah. And our next, okay, so my video has been stopped due to some, I don't know, Ms. Sandhya, if you could check that. But till then, I would just pass on the to the next speaker, Ms. Shubda Chaudhary. I would not say much now, Shubda. You can go ahead and tell the students about studying in Germany. Shubda, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Am I audible now? Yeah, it's raining a lot over here for the past 2 days, so it's a bit, you know. All right. So would it be possible to play my presentation, please?
Okay. Just a second.
Ms. Sandhya, I think you have the presentation sent to you.
Yes, Ms. Sandhya, if you could do that.
Could you please share the presentation?
Okay, ma'am, you're not able to do it. Just give me.
No, Archana was not able to do it earlier.
Yeah, I'll try once again. Yeah. But if it could be done from the school, it would be very nice. But I'm just doing it.
Just give me a few seconds.
Again, it's not, the PPT is not visible here.
It's a
So
PDF,
can...
Archana, it's a PDF file.
Oh, it's a PDF file. Okay. Yeah, I have opened it, but it doesn't show in my screen sharing place.
Yeah, I'm about to share.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Sandhya.
Great. Thank you.
All right, till the
Okay, ma'am, it's not happening from here also.
then what do we do?
Okay, can someone do it from the IT team?
Gautam sir, are you there?
Yes. Yes, ma'am, I am here. You send the PPT over me.
It's a PDF. We will,
Okay, PDF.
It's a PDF study.
Okay.
It says study in Germany.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sending that. I'm forwarding him.
All right, till they open up, we can begin with, so correct. Yeah. So I'm going to be speaking about the bachelor studies in Germany because obviously there is the master studies, as Mr. Banerjee said, and there is the PhD and the post-PhD and all that sort of thing. But since you're a school students, the most interesting thing for you would be the bachelor studies. And to begin with, let us first understand what is the DAAD. Actually, it is DAAD, but in India, we are commonly known as the DAD or sometimes even the DAD. But yeah, it is DAAD actually, and it is the DAAD is the acronym for the German words Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst, which translates as the German Academic Exchange Service. The DAAD was started by a German student way back in 1925. So this, so last year, in fact, we had our jubilee, and even in India, the office was opened in 1960. So this year we have the jubilee. This year we had a lot of plans for the jubilee to be celebrated in October, but with the corona crisis, of course, things are sort of all completely subdued. Yeah, thank you. So if you could go to the next screen, next slide, please. Yeah, so the DAAD is headquartered in Bonn. And Bonn used to be the erstwhile, or rather capital of the erstwhile West Germany. And since it was the capital, there are lots of governmental buildings, governmental offices still in Bonn, and we also still remain in Bonn. The DAAD is a self-governing organization of German universities with 241 member universities and 104 student bodies. The student bodies in Germany play an extremely important role as compared to in India, because the student bodies are the agencies that provide student facilities at the universities. We are a not-for-profit organization. So it means that whatever help we provide to the students, we do not charge anything to the students. Similarly, we are funded by the Foreign Ministry of Germany and the Ministry of Education and Research of Germany. We have 70 plus foreign-based branches and information centers and points. 500 plus DAAD appointed lecturers and language assistants are present all over the world, and more than 1 lakh scholarship recipients every year. Now, majorly the DAAD scholarships are for research. So we will talk briefly about some of the scholarships that are available for bachelors later on. So thank you. Next slide, please. So yes, why study in Germany? Of course, you all are here. I presume all of you all are learning German, and that is why you have an interest regarding study in Germany. But what we have been able to percolate with our discussions with students all over the world, when you speak of Germany, the first thing that comes to your mind is the sort of level of innovation that is there in Germany. And of course, this innovation does not come out of thin air. Suddenly, one day, somebody decides that, okay, today I'm going to do some research and, the innovation happens. No, there is a very systematic path that one has to take for this innovation to take place. And that is available through the research and instruction that is in place at the German universities and research institutions. So in Germany also, there is an extremely close link between theory and practice. One of the things that we suffer in India, and now, the government has been taking care of that in terms of Skill India. So what is it is that we have always paid a lot of attention to the theoretical knowledge, but not so much on applying that theory into our daily, work lives or daily lives as it may be. So this is what the German universities offer, and I am sure Sohail will speak a little bit more on this because his university is a Fachhochschule, which is a university of applied sciences, which is exactly where this whole, combination theory and practice takes place very beautifully. Then there is an extremely strong international focus in Germany. As you have seen, both these people who are with you in the webinar today are foreigners in Germany. And as I earlier said also, Dr. Mukherjee, who is now named the president of the DAAD, is of Indian origin. So of course, there is a very, very strong international focus. Then, of course, there are international programs that are taught in the English medium, and we as an English-speaking population can take advantage of this because, of course, as Rivu or Sohail would also justify, it is quite difficult to do a complete course in the German language. It's not impossible, but it does take a lot of perseverance, of course, yes. Then, of course, Rivu has already touched on this point of no tuition fees. We will be speaking about it a little bit more as we go through the presentation. And as I don't think I need to say too much more, but excellent career opportunities are also available, not only in Germany, but also back in India and all over the world. Next slide, please. So just a little bit, just a small, keyhole to give you an idea about the various inventions that have come out of Germany. In fact, since the Nobel Prize was started in 1901, there have been 100 Nobel Prize recipients out of Germany. And as you can see, this is just a little keyhole that I am showing you, but there are many more inventions, even those not necessarily having, a Nobel Prize, but nonetheless, yes. Next, please. So as I said, again, just to sort of underline my point, top quality of education, education geared for practice, diversity in terms of courses available. In Germany, as you have seen also Rivu speak, your potential is unlocked. It gives you a huge amount of exposure in terms of personal and intellectual development. Germany is a very safe country in terms of stable economically. And also, as you can see, as we have gone through the corona pandemic, Germany was the first to come out of that pandemic and very quickly, so to say, and has stayed there. And then, of course, no or extremely low tuition fees. All right, next, please. So as I said, there is a huge amount of diversity in Germany in terms of foreign students and the courses. So there are more than 2.8 million students in Germany with more than 13.2% foreigners. This is the highest number of foreign students in any country worldwide. And of course, Germany is the third most popular country for international students. Of course, the source is from 2017. We haven't got the latest figures from the Statistisches Bundesamt, which is the Statistical Federal Office of Germany, for 2019 because of the pandemic. Yeah, thank you. Next one, please. So here also you can see that not only the world over, but also Indian students have been increasing steadily who are going to Germany. In fact, the Indian students make up the second largest contingent of international students in Germany. And similarly over here, we don't have the figures yet for 2019, but 2018, as you can see, there is a huge jump. Next, please. So I'm just going to touch on this topic now because the institutions of higher education in Germany are a little different than what we have in India, or in fact, even the world over. So we really are not exposed to this bifurcation. So there are the universities and technical universities, and these are the institutions which focus more on research and fundamental research. Whereas there are the universities of applied sciences, which are called the Fachhochschule, and now, of course, they are called the Universitäten der angewandten Wissenschaft. So, yeah. And these are the institutes that focus on applied research and industry orientation. And then, of course, there are the universities and colleges of music, art, and film, which are different from these. All right. So the next. So as I said earlier, there are the international programs that are taught in the English medium, and there are more than 2,000 international degree programs taught throughout Germany. These are the bachelor's, master's, and the structured doctoral programs. These are internationally recognized programs, means that, you can basically either work or study in anywhere else in the world as well. Language instruction, as I said, is in English, and most of the universities in Germany do provide German language courses. And the links that are given over here is where the international programs are housed. The web search engine, the international programs. Yes, the next. So what does the bachelor degree program look like in Germany? So the bachelor's degree program, especially for the engineering students, is only always a BSc. There is no concept of a B.Tech or a B engineering as such. Very, very few programs are B engineering, but positively not B.Tech. It is BSc, and generally these are 6 semesters, or some of them can be 6.5 semesters as well. For bachelors, most programs are taught in the German language. So German language proficiency is a must, at least till B2 to start with. And then some bachelor, as I said, there are very few programs available at the bachelor's level in English, but there are, of course, and there are some bachelor's programs available also in a combination of German and English. And of course, the German universities are autonomous, so the requirements and the eligibility criteria are always mentioned specifically either on the DAAD International Programs web search engine or the university's own website. Next, please. So yeah, so how do I proceed for a bachelor's in Germany after the class 12th? One option is that you get direct admission if you are from an international board, so maybe an IB or the Cambridge board, which is the A levels. And if you get a ranking in the IIT JEE advanced exam, these are the two options where you do not have to have a foundation year because Germany generally requires 13 years of school education. So the school leaving in Germany called Abitur is at 13 years. The other option for Indian students after 12th, if these two are not an option, then is that you go to a Studienkolleg / foundation course in Germany, or you do a first year of bachelor's in the same subject field from a recognized university / college in India. So these are the two options. Next, please. So now this is how it would look like after your 12th standard from an Indian school board, so which is a CBSE, ICSE, state board, or whatever it may be. You would generally, we always recommend, and everybody has been recommending on this webinar, that a German language proficiency of B1, but at least A2 is a good thing to have. You identify the subject that you want to study, the course and university. So first you have to identify the subject which you are interested in with your parents and teachers, and then you log on to the International Programs web search engine to look up the various courses. And of course, once you choose a course, the university is automatically selected. In Germany, unlike the other countries, you choose the course first, not the university first. Because in most Anglophone countries, which means the US, UK, Singapore, and Australia, New Zealand, whatever, English is the spoken language. Whereas in Germany, German is the spoken language. So not all universities will give you an English language course. Of course, all universities generally will give you a German language course. But there are limited English language courses. So you have to first see whether the course is available, where the course is available. And then once you choose the course, the university automatically gets selected. Then you apply to the desired university, and then you will be specified if you need to take a Studienkolleg and what Studienkolleg you need to take. Now, the Studienkolleg and foundation course are the same things. The Studienkolleg is the German word for it, and the foundation course is the English word for it. And of course, in the relevant subject, you have to take, there is an entrance exam to the Studienkolleg / foundation course. Once you pass the entrance exam, you sit for the Studienkolleg, which is a 1 year, 2 semester study option. And then at the end of the Studienkolleg, there is a final assessment exam, which you need to take. And once you pass that final assessment exam with good grades or expected grades, then you can apply for a bachelor's program. So that is very important, that it is not that before the Studienkolleg you are already admitted for a bachelor's program. No, you are admitted to the university as a bona fide student, because otherwise you will not be able to apply for a visa, but you are not enrolled for a bachelor's program. It is only when you pass the final assessment exam with the required grades that you are eligible to apply for a bachelor's at a German university. Next, please. Yeah, so the field of medicine is a little different in Germany again as compared to India. For Indian students, again, wanting to study in Germany in the field of medicine, human medicine or veterinary, human medicine also includes dentistry. The medical studies are provided by the university, yes, but it is the Staatsexamen or the state exam. And the medicine field, human medicine as well as veterinary in Germany is available only in the German language, because it is a clinical field and you have to basically, communicate with the patients. And without knowing the German language. All reporting and everything is done in the German language in Germany for medicine. So it is extremely important that you know a very, very good level of German language. As I'll come, it is extremely important that you do a Studienkolleg. It is necessary for medicine that you do a Studienkolleg. And there is no division of medical studies in Germany as bachelor and master like we have over here, and MBBS and MS. It is one consolidated 6.5 years program. Yeah, so as I said, it's only available in the German language, and the admission restricted to the medical field as well. It is called numerus clausus. There are also other fields which come under restriction, but medicine for sure is under restriction. And only 6% of international students are given admission to the medical courses in Germany. Medical school admissions are centrally coordinated. And for medical school programs in human medicine or veterinary, you can go to this particular website, www.studyingermany.de. This website also gives you a lot of information from the basis of a student. So there are various students at various levels where they have short videos about various topics. They will take you through a small guide of the city where the universities are located, and lots of stuff, interactive stuff is available. So you sure should visit this website if you are really interested in studying in Germany. Next, please. So again, I'm just going to touch on this point over here. When we speak of Studienkollegs or foundation courses in Germany, there are different types of Studienkollegs for different subject fields. So if you can see over here, the M course is for medicine, biology, pharmaceuticals. The T course is for mathematics, science, and technology. The W course is for business, economics, social sciences. G course for humanity and German studies, and S course for language. There is a little bifurcation in terms of the courses Studienkollegs available at the university/technical university or University of Applied Sciences. But this all information you can get on the study-in-germany.de. And for English programs, of course, the international programs under the daad.de website. Yes, please. Next, please. So the option 2 is where you want to go for a bachelor's in Germany after the first year of college in India. So of course, the 12th standard from, again, a CBSE, ICSE or state board. As you can see over here, the German language is optional. But again, we recommend at least A2. Again, the same thing is where you identify the subject, course, and university. And then, of course, you have to complete your first year of bachelor's in India from a recognized university, with UGC accreditation in the same subject field. This is very, very important. So if you want to go for mechanical engineering in Germany, you have to complete your first year in mechanical engineering over here. If you want to go for computer science, then it has to be CS. If you want to go for IT, then it has to be in IT. So wherever there are fields that are amalgamation of two fields, for example, mechatronics, then it can either be in mechanical engineering or electronics. So this is extremely important that the same subject field has to be held. And once you get your marks of both the semesters and you apply, and then you can apply to the university when you become eligible. Yeah, next, please. So a little bit about the schedule. Again, I'm just going to touch over here. So basically in Germany, the winter semester, where classes start October, March, is the major semester, and the summer semester where classes start March, April is the smaller semester. So not all courses are available in the summer semester. Practically all courses are available in the winter semester. And you have to start your gathering of information and work on starting to go to Germany 1 year in advance. So if it's the winter semester, you start off, I'm sorry? You start off 1 year in advance. Yes, next please. So now this is what the DAAD International Program Database landing page looks like. And as you can see over here in the search option, you can put in the field. And then in the degree option or level option, you can choose a bachelor's. And then don't choose any other field because this will give you the broadest search. So next, please. So we will quickly run through some programs over here, just as an example. So for example, at the Hochschule Mannheim, which is the University of Applied Sciences, Power Engineering and Renewable Energies, which is a BSc. Now, as you can see, the duration is 7 semesters. The course language is English. Beginning is winter semester. Deadline is 15th May. There is a tuition fee here, as you can see, 1,500 euros per semester, because Mannheim falls under the state called Baden-Württemberg. And the state of Baden-Württemberg charges 1,500 euros per semester from international students. And an enrollment fee, which is the semester fee, is 170 euros per semester. So as you can see over here, as we run through quickly, you will see that requirements for different courses are different. Of course, IELTS or TOEFL is compulsory with a grade of 6.5, preferably 7, and an IBT, which is the TOEFL score of 98 or 100. So here you can see you have to have extremely good academic track record for any of the courses in Germany. And some universities also accept a SAT score. Next, please. Then you have the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology here at the BSc in Mechanical Engineering at the Carl Benz School of Engineering. Here you can see 6 semesters, English course language, winter semester. The deadline is 30th of April, and the tuition fee is 7,000 euros per semester. And then the enrollment fee or the semester fee is approximately 150 euros. Here also, you have to have a very good academic track record. TOEFL and IELTS compulsory. SAT is also accepted with a specific point that is given in those specific subjects. So next, please. Then you have the FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences at their campus in Jülich. That's Bachelor of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering. Here the duration is 6 semesters. The course language is German. Beginning is winter semester. Deadline is 1st of July. No tuition fee, but the approximate enrollment fee is 300 euros. And here, as you can see, an 8 weeks required internship is there. So as you can see, some courses could also require an enrollment, an 8 weeks internship. And of course, the freshman year for international applicants not fulfilling the entrance requirements, which is the foundation course, which Sohail will be speaking of. And again, here the TOEFL or IELTS. Next, please. So you get the idea. I'll just take one more and then we will go on. Again, here, the Leipzig University. Here it is the International Physics Study Program. 6 semesters, English, winter semester, 15th July, no tuition fees. 12th, approximately 220 euros. Here, they are ready to accept your 12th standard alone. And of course, you have to have some more. So if you don't have this extended school courses in mathematics and or physics, then you might have to take the Studienkolleg / foundation course. And of course, TOEFL or IELTS is a must. So you get the idea that the requirements for each university / course are a little bit different. So you have to log on to the particular university website and to find out the actual requirements for that particular course. Next, please. A little bit on the living expenses. As you can see here, the German government has mandated, and everything financial that I speak of is relevant as of today. It might change in the coming days, or it might not change, but it is as of today right now. So yeah, the German government has mandated that you have to have, you would be required approximate 853 euros per month to be able to take care of your living expenses in Germany. Of course, this is an average amount. Bigger cities, for example, like Munich. Munich is the costliest city, in fact, that can cost anywhere up to 900 to 1,000 euros as well. But smaller cities, for example, like Aachen or Jena or Dresden or Bamberg, these smaller cities, which are also called university towns, will cost less because the rent and utilities and food will be lesser in these smaller university towns. And it is mandated by the government that before you apply for the visa, you have to open something called a blocked account, where you block an amount of 10,236 euros, which is approximately 8.5 lakh of rupees, for you to use when you reach Germany. So when you open the accounts, these accounts at various, there are specific banks listed on the diplomatic websites. When you open these bank accounts, your funds will be blocked from the time that they are opened till you arrive in Germany and open a local account. So once you do that, then you are able to get your funds a monthly of 853 euros. That's the limitation for your living expenses in Germany. Next, please. So as we said, we mostly saw that 95% of the German universities do not charge a tuition fee. Of course, but there are specialized courses and courses at private university that may attract substantial fees. So again, all these details are given on the international programs or the Study in Germany website of the DAAD. Then, of course, there is the semester contribution, as we saw earlier, now up to, in fact, 300 euros per semester. And this semester contribution is for your administrative cost, your student union contribution for student dining, sports, cultural events. And this semester contribution generally also has a subsidized semester ticket on the state transport. So again, as you can see, as a student in Germany, you will get a lot of discounts on a lot of utilities. So that is something that would help you in bringing down your costs of living in Germany. Next, please. Yes, so now very important, which also Rivu spoke of, that international students can work in Germany on their student visa for 120 full days or 240 half days without a work permit. But please be aware that this also depends on the level of German proficiency that you have. So for Rivo, it was not much of an issue because he already had a very good German language proficiency when he went there. So this also depends on that. And also very importantly, this will also depend on how well you adjust to living on campus, thus and the studying methodology at the university. So not necessary, I mean, this is a legal, how should I say, option that you have of working for these many days, but it's not necessary that you might be able to work for all this time, because that depends on your, you know, your capacity and your ability to adjust to the surroundings. And of course, the work contracts must be always informed to the Aliens Registration Office, which is the Foreigners Registration Office. Next, please. So the stay back options in Germany, you're allowed to stay back after you complete your bachelor's degree in Germany for 1.5 years to look for suitable employment. Once you find suitable employment, then of course you get a work permit. And if you, as of now, if you work consecutively for 2 years and you fulfill the work and social security guidelines, then you are allowed to apply for the EU Blue Card or the residence permit of Germany. Those are the options that are available to you. Next, please. So a little bit about the DAAD scholarships for bachelors. There are no scholarships for doing a bachelor's in Germany whatsoever. As I earlier said, scholarships are majorly for research. Even for masters, we have very limited scholarships, those which are related to research. So apart from the DAAD, there are other funding organizations also which you can look up, which do provide scholarships, but generally there are no scholarships for bachelors. The scholarships that the DAAD does have are for students who are doing their bachelors in India. One of them is called the WISE, which is called the Working Internship for Science and Engineering. Here you are funded by the DAAD to do a 3 months internship in Germany, either at a university / technical university / University of Applied Sciences, or the various research institutions in Germany. And for this, this is not an open scholarship. This is limited to approximately 75 institutes of national importance. And the list is available on the DAAD website. So basically all IITs and all NITs, apart from some very important state engineering colleges, are listed under this. And the second scholarship is for German learners who are either doing their bachelor's or master's in India and have a proficiency of B1 language as proven by the Goethe Institute certificate. And they can apply for a scholarship called HSK, which is the Hochschul Sommer course, which is a short summer course in Germany for up to 2 months. As I said, you have to prove your German language proficiency of B1 with a Goethe Institute certificate. So these are the 2 scholarships that are available for students doing their bachelor's in Germany, in India. And yeah, the next one is our contact list. So we have various offices in India. The closest for you would be Delhi, but also I get a lot of mails from Bihar and Jharkhand. So you can always write a mail to me. Apart from that, we have a lot of webinars happening right now. So you can check out our daad.in website to look at the various events. So we have a lot of webinars. And you can attend those as well. Of course, those and QA sessions also. So those who have already attended the presentation today don't need to attend the webinar, because this is more or less the same information will be covered over there. But you have any specific questions, then you can write to me or to the Delhi office. And of course, attend any of the QA sessions that we have. I presume we do have a QA session at the end as well. So please post your questions and let's see how many then we can take up. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you, Shubhda. That was very informative. I think most of the queries that have been coming through the Q&A box have been answered here. And
good.
Now,
that's
yeah, thank you so much for that. And now I would like to move ahead to the next speaker, Mr. Sohail Mirzapur. Yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Mirzapur, we are a little, behind time, but thanks for your patience. Over to you.
Thank you. I also try to summarize as much as I can in order to get into the time. So, okay, so as the DAD representative Shubhada, if I'm not mistaken with the pronunciation, explained amazing information, and I think I can then skip all of the information that was covered by her. I would like to share my screen. Please let me know, Archana, if you can see my screen in this case.
Not yet.
Is it working now?
Double click to
It's working.
It was visible. It was visible. It's visible.
And now you can see that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to explain briefly is about our freshman program. So as Ms. Shubhada already explained, a lot of students from abroad need to have 1 year of foundation program, or Studienkolleg, we call it. So our institute, our program is also Studienkolleg. It means that in a lot of cases, when you're done with your high school studies in India, you cannot directly start your studies at universities, but you need to have 1 year of foundation program. So this foundation year or foundation program is actually a bridge between your high school studies in India and university studies in Germany. So the freshman program of FH Aachen, FH Aachen is the University of Applied Sciences for the Aachen, city Aachen. So what we offer in the freshman program as a Studienkolleg is this bridge between your high school studies and university. It is also worth mentioning that we also accept diploma students from India. So what we offer actually, I start with the slides, so I can skip these slides. The reasons to study in Germany and so on, they are already discussed. So if we consider your studies like a house, you can see that the first floor is the foundation year, or in our case, the freshman program. Then you usually have 3 years of bachelor study courses, and then comes master, and then comes PhD. So this foundation year, in case it's necessary for you, for most of you, it's necessary to study the foundation year, is the first step you have to get. So our program, you can see here, it's called the German track. So the German track is what Ms. Shubhada already explained. So you need to have previous knowledge of the German language. And it means that you can start your foundation year in Germany. But before that, you need to have approximately a level of B2 or B1 90% in order to start this 1 year before your bachelor study courses. So then you will study 1 year in Germany, approximately 10 months, and then you will have to do the Feststellungsprüfung, or the university entrance exam in Germany. And then after that, according to the grades that you get in this exam, and your academic background, you can apply for different universities and start your bachelor programs. So this is what we call the foundation program in Germany, or Studienkolleg. What the freshman program is unique in is this so-called English track. So in our English track, you can start your foundation year without knowing the German language from before. So we offer both these tracks to these students. So if you know English, the freshman program can prepare you to study at one of our partner universities. What is unique in this case is that you will be able to travel to Germany and start your 1 year of foundation year without having the previous knowledge of the German language, and you will learn German in Germany. And also you will get a guaranteed admission for bachelor study courses. Okay, so I will try to, without going too much in details, I will share this presentation with the coordinators of today. So an English track, our English track admission is twofold. Admission to the freshman program, it means this 1 year foundation program, and also admission to bachelor's program. So you will get a guaranteed admission conditional upon successful completion of the freshman year. So you do not need to study 1 year, and then do your final exams, and then see if you can go to university or not. You will and we have some partner universities. We are the FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences, but we have 5 more partner universities which offer this guaranteed admissions. So in order to get admitted into the freshman program, to this one-year foundation program, you have to write the entrance exam of our entrance exam, which will be the mathematics and language, which will be the English language, and you have to be finished with your high school studies before October. We start in October every year. And this is also a review of our English track. So as you can see, the orange box is the English and the blue box is the German. So you can see that in our foundation program, in our freshman year, after you pass our entrance exam, in all cases you will start in Germany. And if you, for example, choose this university, your first year of university is even in English, and then we shift it to German. If you choose FH Aachen, our university, and HBK Essen, after this 1 year, you will have it all in German. And the University of Rheinland-Pfalz-Südwestfalen and SRH Hamm, your whole studies, even the bachelor's, will be in English. But because knowing the German language is very important to live in this country, we also provide the German language classes for you. So I skipped this, and these are the study courses that you can choose, which you will get guaranteed admission for, from computer engineering to mechanical engineering and so on. You can choose your study course. We also offer art and other study courses. And yeah, so I don't go to details about the study courses. And the German track is what Ms. Shubhada already explained. This is the normal and classic Studienkolleg or foundation year in Germany, which you will start your foundation program also in the German language. So you need to have you need to know German language from before. Even in this case, you also have to do our entrance exam. But even for our German track, we also have some thing which is unique for our freshman program. What are they? Usually, in order to do the entrance exam of the foundation programs, you have to travel to Germany. So in this case, in our case, it's different. Why? Because we travel to different countries. We are working with more than 22 countries. So we travel there, we hold seminars, and we do our entrance exam in your home country. Me, for example, I'm responsible for the Indian applicants. It means every year I fly to India, hold seminars, information seminars, and conduct the entrance exam there in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Ahmedabad, and depends. Like each year we are in different cities, but usually in Delhi and Mumbai and Ahmedabad are the cities that we always travel to. So it means that we travel there, you do our entrance exam. If you pass it, you will get guaranteed admission for the freshman program and for bachelor studies after that, in case you choose from our English track. In case you choose the German track, after passing the test, you will get the admission to the freshman program. So as you can see, and as Ms. Shubhada already also explained, after your entrance exam, you will have to do 1 year of foundation year. And after this 1 year is done, you will do the Feststellungsprüfung, or university entrance exam, you can call it. And depending on your scores in this exam and your academic background in your home country, you can apply for different universities. But again, this is the German track, right? So in case you choose our English track, you already have your bachelor's admission letter from before. Yeah, this is the registration process. So you can actually fill the application form, and then we attend our entrance exam, and we will give your admission letter. Then you can continue with your visa process and so on. So our program is not for free. There are some governmental Studienkolleg or foundation programs in Germany, which are almost free. But in our case, you have to pay 19,500 euros. And this includes everything. So even for like the free foundation programs in Germany, only your studies are free, right? So you have to pay for your apartment, you have to pay for insurance, and you have to pay for everything. But in our case, this 19,500 euros includes everything. So your classes, your room, your insurance, your university ID, airport transfer, and support during the year, your books and everything. And of course, another advantage that our students have, our students do not need to bank account. Ms. Shubhada already explained that all the students need to block a bank account with an amount of around 10,200 euros. In our case, it's not needed because our students have already paid this amount, and we write a letter to the German embassy and tell them that these students do not need to block a bank account. And also our students who study the English track, the embassy will not need a proof of the German language from them. Okay, so yeah, so these are also only some photos from where we are located. We are here in Aachen. You can see that we are actually sharing the border with Belgium and the Netherlands. So we are located here in Aachen, and this is the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, and our campus is here. So you can see that our campus is, you live like, let's say in 50, 60 meters away from your classes, and this is like our students call it Hogwarts. So you can see the sport facilities and everything is around where you live. So you do not need to take any bus or anything in order to get into the classes. Our classes are usually with a small amount of students because we believe that the teachers have to have a good focus on each student. And yeah, so the rest about what happens in the university year and so on is already explained by Ms. Shubhada. The other thing which is worth mentioning is that usually in Germany, before getting into the universities, usually for engineering courses, you need to show the university that you have had the internships in order to get into the university. This is also included in the price and in the freshman program. So you do not need to pay extra for doing these practical trainings. Practical trainings are happening in our university and also in Research Center Jülich. So yeah, there are actually some photos from where our students live. Again, as I said before, they're like 50, 60 meters away from your classes. Yeah, so these are the things which are already explained. And yeah, there are actually some photos. This, we offer also some scholarships. We will definitely share this presentation with Archana, and she can share it with you. I hope that I could summarize it well. And yeah, please.
Yes, you could do it really well and in very short time. A lot of information, so much, Suhail, that was really informative.
Thank you.
And now I hope all our panelists are here. Thank you so much, Suhail, for this. Now we also have question answers, question and Q&A session, and Ms. Sandhya, we connect the panelists, the students who are in the panel, who could, and if we have time, might have other questions there.
Archana, may I also add this really small point?
Yeah.
Before the students, maybe in case they want to ask about the freshman program, unfortunately, we are sold out for the coming year. So if they want, they can apply for academic year 2021-22. So start will be October 21.
Okay.
For this year, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So,
yes, ma'am, we have a few students in our panelist. Yes, students, you can switch on your video cameras, and whatever questions you have, you can go ahead with the speakers.
yes, Animesh, you are there. Please put
Yes,
your
ma'am.
question.
Good morning, Ribu sir. It was really a very informative session. Sir, I had a few questions in my mind. May I ask, sir?
Yes, definitely. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my question was that the weather in Germany is very extreme. And since ours is a hot and humid state, so sir, how long does it take to get acclimatized in cases like one suffering from sinusitis and other such ailments?
Okay, so because most of the courses begin in October, students usually come in around mid-September when the weather is still not very cold. It is cold, it gets colder of course, but still not very cold. On the other hand, even if you have ailments such as sinusitis, for example, all your buildings in the city, whichever city you are living in, or your university buildings as well, they're all heated. So you won't really have that much of a problem because you will not be spending a lot of time outside unless you're somebody who generally likes to walk around and maybe cycle to university or things like that. That's something I do, but I would of course recommend that you do that once in your second winters. Like if you start cycling in summer and then you go on to doing it in winter as well, because that helps you with the acclimatization of the weather. Along with that, I will also say that the best thing to do, in fact, is to dress in layers. So the more layers you have in terms of the clothes you're wearing, it's easier to prevent yourself from catching a cold. And if you see me doing this, I've been doing this all day today as well, because it's slightly cold here. Always have something to drink, something hot to drink, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever, that also helps you. So it's not very difficult. There are colder places on this planet. It's not that cold in this country also. It's not really that difficult to get acclimatized to the weather, even if you have health issues.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for answering my question. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The next student.
Okay, so a very warm good morning, everyone. This is Anya, and my first question is for Mrs. Anita Mitra, ma'am. Ma'am, may I go ahead and ask my question?
Yes, please.
So my question is, we have been attending GLC camps from the past few years. With the pandemic being spoiled sport, can we still look forward to some kind of online camp for German learners?
Yes, as I have mentioned also in the presentation, I mean, this is a very valid question. Right now, we are transitioning into the virtual platform, and even all the events that we used to have, we are trying to find innovative formats so that you can have as much of the exchange and experience that you would if you joined a normal camp. And we have a few things lined up. Like one of them is also this art project that I spoke about. Then in the second half, we'll have a lot of conferences, also something on artificial intelligence, gender equality. So there are a few innovative formats that we are thinking of to bring all this closer to you. Of course, we are really hoping that next year we can all see you in person, and we have our normal camps. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Thank you, ma'am, for your prompt reply. It was really helpful.
So the next student.
Yes, students, please put your questions.
A very good afternoon. Question to Savada.
Yeah, hi.
Ma'am, my question is that how is it studying in German different from studying in India?
Yeah, so basically, as I said earlier, that in India, we generally study a lot in terms of the theoretical knowledge rather than the applying of the, the concepts. So that is extremely different, first of all, in Germany. So, for example, I don't know, off the hat, what can I give you an example? Okay, or maybe Sohail can give an exact example in terms, because he's already he teaches as well. So yeah, Sohail.
Thank you. So what she's saying is actually correct. I also experience it a lot with my Indian students. There is like I can see in my class that there is an Indian student, very smart. And I'm explaining a motor in practice, and I, for example, ask him to calculate the efficiency of the motor. And for other students, it takes 3 hours. For him, it takes 2 minutes. He can calculate it like so fast. And then I asked him, okay, thank you very much. Can you please just shut down the motor? And it takes 3 hours for him and 2 minutes for others. So it is actually what Shubhada is saying is completely correct. It's usually the difference between theory and practice. So the Indian students are perfect when it comes to theory, but there are also fast learners. So by doing the internships, that should be no problem in learning also the practice.
Yeah, so maybe I can also, I thought of an example also. So for example, if you take thermodynamics, so if you ask an Indian student the definition of thermodynamics, it will come pat. But if you give the student saying that in a room of this dimension, there are 20 students sitting there, and now how will you control that when there are 20 students, and as students keep coming in, when it gets to 100 students, how will you, adjust the thermodynamics? Then it's a question mark.
Yeah.
So this is the major difference that is there, in this whole teaching aspect. So that is the reason why after you have completed your bachelor's or master's also, when you do get a job, you don't start your job on the first day. The first thing that you do in India is train for another 8 to 10 months in the company, and only then you start your job. And this is the issue, because you don't, we are not taught how to apply the knowledge that we have learned. That is the major difference.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. It was really a very great pleasure listening to you all.
Thank you, Aditya, for the question.
Yes, who is about to ask next question?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gorja, and thank you so much for such an informative session. I have a question for Sohail, sir. May I go ahead and ask the question?
Of course, my pleasure.
Sir, if one wants to pursue higher education in science, what level of German language one requires to get enrolled in university? And is it same through all faculties and levels?
This is a simple question, but it's really hard to answer because different universities have different requirements. You always have to visit the university's websites and see what language requirements it asks for. For some universities, you will study completely in English. For some, you will study completely in German, and for some, It's both. You take the English first and then in parallel the German language course, and then you'll shift it to German. So it's actually, you always have to go to university.
Thank you, sir. It was really helpful.
Thank you for the question.
Yes, who is next?
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is for
We can't hear you, Swastik. Yes, Swastik, can you repeat your question?
And my question is for you, sir. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
For vegetarians, are there ample amount of food in Germany?
Okay, so just to repeat the question that Swastik asked, Swastik's asking about the opportunities for people who are vegetarian and if they will have problems in terms of their dietary restrictions. You will not have problems. In fact, most Germans who are our age group, they're tending to become vegetarian or if not vegan. So you have several opportunities. I can speak for the university that I am in, which is in the city of Jena, which is a very small city. Cafeteria, we have vegetarian options, non-vegetarian options, also vegan options. So that means that you have ample opportunities to eat based on your dietary restrictions. And it's not that you will have to change into becoming a non-vegetarian just because you're in a European country. You will have various kinds of meals as well. In fact, universities, because they're also international, they also try and bring in cuisines from around the world into these dining halls, most of which, in fact, is vegetarian. In fact, last week, in fact, the university the university dining hall decided to cook dal and rice for everyone in the university dining hall. So, I mean, you will not have that problem at all.
Could I jump in here, please, a little bit with this question?
Yes.
Also, please note that in Germany, you are not forced to do anything. If you don't eat non-veg, if you don't smoke, if you don't drink alcohol, that is completely fine and your decision is respected. So there is absolutely no, forcefulness in that sense. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question is to Subhada, ma'am. May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to know that what is the atmosphere for foreign students in Germany?
Wonderful.
Ma'am, like those who are especially from India, like that students.
There is no restriction whatsoever. As I said earlier in my presentation also, that the second largest contingent of foreign students is from India. So there is absolutely no difference in Germany in terms of, how should I say, racial difference or, those sorts of things. Of course, there are some pockets. I would not say that it's completely not there. Positively, there are some pockets where you would face such. But then as an Indian, I think you face it on an everyday basis. It's just that because you are in Germany, it tends to get a little more, a little more bigger. But no, the atmosphere is very good. You are, at par with everybody else. And that is one of the reasons why Germany is extremely popular also, because you can, as I said earlier, 13.48% of foreign students, which is the largest for any country. Okay. So,
sorry, are you done with
Yeah, sure.
It is like that. That is the real world. In each country, in any country, you will face racism, and Germany is not an exception. But as she's explained, it is like no difference. And the more important thing is that the government rules are with you, are with the people. And racism is a big crime. And this is what I also heard a lot before coming to Germany, that Germany is a racist country and so on. But when I came here, I faced exactly the opposite. Why? Because Germany has suffered its most awful experience in the history was because of being racist. It was the Second World War. So all the people really want to prevent it to happen again. That's why usual people are actually anti-racist. That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. It really encourages me to go on and study in Germany. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Most welcome.
So my next question is from Mr. Suhail Mirzapur, sir. Good morning, sir. May I go ahead with my question?
Yes, please do.
So do all foreign students get accommodation in hostel? And if not, how accessible, affordable are PGs?
Yeah, usually the, I don't know if you're talking about our program or in general. Usually the universities offer the accommodations. There are some companies and there are some institutes which help the students to provide the accommodation. They are usually very inexpensively. So for example, let's say in my I used to pay for my dorm around 250 euros per month. So in other cities it's actually different, but you can always find inexpensive dorms for students. It's already, people have already thought about that. And I don't know if Mr. Vada already talked about WGs. So WGs are the apartments which let's say more than 2 up to 6 students share it together with a shared kitchen or shared washroom and so on, which they are really affordable. So I think by having a normal student job, like let's say 8 to 10 hours per week, you can actually afford your apartment wherever you live.
Thank you, sir. That was really informative.
Yeah, just to come in over here, at least for the first year, since you have to have a blocked account, generally, that the whole point of a blocked account is that you don't have to worry financially, you know, that is something that is taken care of already, and you sort of concentrate on getting adjusted or acclimatized to the whole thing, and finances should not be on your mind. That is the whole idea of having a blocked account, you know. And so that is very helpful. And as Sohail correctly said, the Wohngemeinschaften, which are, you know, shared apartments, can be shared by 2 to 6 students. And when we mean students, then of course it is a mix of students. It can be girls as well as boys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have my question for Rivu, sir. May I go ahead and ask my question?
Yes, definitely.
How skeptic or friendly are German authorities and German people towards a foreigner in these pandemic-ridden times?
They're usually very friendly. In fact, I've not had a problem with anybody so far. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, I had to be at the Foreign Office because I had to get something done for my residence permit. And I was in and out of the office in about 15 minutes. The idea is, in fact, I think to just simply be very, very direct and be very clear about what you want, why you want it, and have all your paperwork in place. Because you will, in fact, if you're applying to a university, you will be moving to a town where there will be a lot of international students. So what happens in most cases is that you have authorities being very, very friendly and very helpful because they know and understand that you're going to have students who are coming from a different country, who have issues, who have problems, probably don't speak the language, and they are in fact trained to be able to work around situations like that as well. So it'll never actually be a problem.
Thank you, sir. That was really helpful.
So my next question is to Anita ma'am. Ma'am, may I ask it?
Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, my question is that do we have any chance of getting to visit Germany or interact with native German speakers through GEORG projects?
Yes, the Goethe Institute offers a lot of scholarships to students, especially school students as well. These are part of a 3-week, 2 to 3 week program in Germany, part of the youth camps that I had also presented. And interacting with native speakers, we do a lot of exchange with German schools as well. So you get to meet your age group and virtually, as well as when they then come over to India, and this, through the exchange programs, students from India can also go to Germany. Apart from that, we have a lot of experts. So whenever we do camps or any of these events, we try to bring in, a kind of relation to Germany or to Germans, so that, they can also share their experience and this cultural exchange takes place. So these are some of the ways that, you can get to interact with native speakers, as well as have this exchange of visiting Germany, etc.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering me. It was really a very informative session with you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I think there's a long series of questions, and it was quite long. So, you can write the mail IDs you have, children, so you can write your queries in the question. I think, it's a quite long sessions and long number of questions you have. Okay. So just gotten one more last question.
Ma'am, my question is for Anita, ma'am.
Tell me.
May I go ahead and ask the question?
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, if the university I wish to apply is not included in the GAAG's list, what is the alternative scholarship option for funding options?
I think this question is better directed at Ribu, because he probably explored these avenues. So I would like to hand it over to Rivu. Would you be able to answer this?
Right. So if it is not part of the DAAD network of scholarships that they offer for students, there are other foundations as well. You have foundations like the Heinrich Böll Stiftung. You have foundations like the Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung, for example. These are all foundations which
also have Konrad Adenauer Stiftung.
You also have the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. These are all organizations which are run partly by German political parties, partly by social activists in the country as well, who provide these scholarship opportunities. It essentially is about going and checking out all of these websites and seeing which one works. You'll definitely be able to find something or the other. If not entirely at the bachelor's level, mostly in the master's level and beyond. It's a little difficult to get scholarships at the bachelor's level, exactly the way Ms. Chaudhary said. But on the other hand, of course, given the fact that you're not paying tuition fees in most situations, that also balances out the expenditure.
Yeah, as I said in my presentation earlier, that there are a lot of other foundations and, who give scholarships, and the link is also provided over there. It is the funding-guide.de. But as rightly as Rivu said, for the bachelors, it's there are very, very limited scholarships, and since your expenses are extremely low as compared to other countries. So masters of 3 years in Germany would cost you how much? Approximately 22 to 25 lakhs, whereas a master's in the US would cost you anywhere between 1.5 to 1.75 crores. So there is a huge difference between the two.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. It was really informative.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I think that was the last question that we had. I'm sure there were a lot of questions in the question Q&A box or two, but I just cannot take them right now. I tried answering a few. Rivu has also answered a few. So maybe if there are serious questions, we can forward it to you and take answers and pass it on to the school. I would take this opportunity to propose a word of thanks to all of you, to all the panelists, to have taken out this time. And we have exceeded time, but obviously there were reasons for that, because, and the entire session was so informative that it really doesn't matter even if we have exceeded the time. I'm sure our ma'am would also confirm that. Ma'am,
yes,
how do you feel?
yes, sure. Looking forward for such enriching sessions in future also, and really it was quite very informative. I got to know so many, avail the opportunities just because of the ignorance.
Yeah,
so
true.
It can guide them better. And looking forward, thank you all for giving us your valuable time for this webinar to make our children aware.
Thank you, Archana. Mrs. Mahua, I would request you to please share my official ID with the students and parents. They can get in touch with me through the official email anytime.
Sure.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I have my sincere gratitude, thanks to all the panelists, and special thanks to Mahua ma'am to have organized this and to have come up with the idea of doing this. So it's like, ma'am, to the school and to you in person, I am really grateful.
Thank you, Archana ma'am, for helping us to organize and make our children aware. Indeed, like GLC in Bihar is doing a lot, and in a state like Bihar and a small town like Patna, children are getting opportunity to learn German. It's like a boon for the children.
We are proud, ma'am. We are proud. We have more than 10,000 students learning right now, despite all the problems that we are facing. But yeah, and students are really good, and they are really excited about it, and hopeful of doing better with German.
And we are proud to be associated with the GLC Patna.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of Tribhuvan and Divya Shishak, I would like to extend my thanks to the GLC team and all the eminent speakers, all staff, management, and the students for such a highly engaging, fruitful, and productive conversation with us. Thank you, Principal Ma'am, for providing us such a wonderful platform to us. Even in this pandemic situation, we are able to connect with each other. That's a marvelous thing. We have learned so much today. Thanks, audience, for being so patient listeners. And once again, thanks to everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gautam, sir.